Hi everyone, it's Tammy with the Frou-frou Studio. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to do an episode of I Saw It on Pinterest, and I'm glad you're with me today, and I hope that you will make along with me as I create a hidden journaling spot on a belly band. And forgive me, I don't have my iPad up here, but it is from Scrapbooking with Me Crafts. So there is a video for it, Scrapbooking with Me Crafts, and it's all together, all scrunched together in the name. So I'm sure if you search it on YouTube, you can find her video. It's a very good video, and I am going to attempt to make one to put in this little journal that I'm going to be working on. That's going to be the actuary journal. So this is a old Bobbsey twin book cover, and I took the book block out and repaired the spine because the spine was in really bad shape. And then I have it all set up to put my pages inside. I've got some kind of more masculine looking scrapbook paper on the inside cover, and I've done a double pocket here. And put some ephemera in there, if I can grab it, along with some vintage ledger. And so this is what my layout is, and so this is the book I'm going to make the belly band for. I pulled out the cover so I could determine how long I need to make it. As far as supplies, I am using a piece of Tim Holtz paper, one of the few sheets that I have left of his when he was doing the 12 by 12 papers. And then I have this coffee stained ledger, a piece of that, and I've got a couple of digitals here, and I wanted to use these to bring in some color, so that everything is not just ledger papers and stuff like that. There will be a ton of that in this journal, but I wanted to bring in some color in another element. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to cut this back piece into what I want my belly band to be. And I think that I measured that it needed to be about 7 inches long. Yeah, by the time I get my pages cut down, maybe 7 1/4. So I'm going to cut it 7 1/4 long. This way. Let me pull my little thing out here. I want to get this top part, and this is the actual back piece of the belly band. So it's going to be 7 1/4. And save that. And then for width, let's see, let's do 2 1/2. All right, so that's my back piece. Now, for the hidden spot, Actually, I'm going to go ahead and cut. I need 2 strips that are 1 inch going to be let's do 3/4. I'm going to do 3/4 wide. And I'm going to do the 2.5. Two at 2.5 wide. Okay, and these strips will be based on however wide you made your belly band. Okay, so that's all I need of that paper. And what you want to do is you want to glue these 2 little strips, one at the top and one at the bottom. And you can make those out of whatever. It can be coordinating to the paper you have. It can be different than the paper you have on the bottom. I don't think that really matters. It's really just what you prefer. So I'm going to glue these on just on the edges. 2 short edges and 1 long edge. And glue 1 at the top and 1 at the bottom of the belly band. Like that. So I knew I did that one backwards. Take that off real quick before my glue dries. I knew as soon as I put the glue on the other one that I had that backwards. You want to make sure that when you do this, you're gluing 1 at the top edge and 1 at the bottom edge. So that you have a slot here and a slot there. Okay? Now what we want to do is create our secret journaling spot, and so we want whatever we put on top to fit so that it'll go in those slots. So if I take this one for example, I want it to be just a little more narrow than this is so that it'll fit. Now another option, and that's probably what I should have done, would be to, as a matter of fact, I'm going to do that if I can get it off. We're gonna do this eventually. Okay, so I'm gonna take those off, and I'm rethinking. I want them to wrap, I think, so I don't lose any space. So I'm gonna cut one more piece. Where's that little piece? I'm going to cut one more piece that's 3/4 inches wide. Sorry, I should have done a prototype or something, but I didn't. So I apologize for not having my stuff together today. Alright, so let's do this so that it's wide enough that I can wrap it rather than... Alright, so now we can glue along the bottom. And put it on here. Maybe. And then wrap it around. And glue it. And the reason for this would be so you could make your hidden spot as wide as the belly band, and it'll be, you know, more hidden than if you did it how I did it originally. Alright, so this one we're gonna do, make sure I have this upside right. Okay, so this one we're gonna do at the top edge. And you could also, to make this even better, match the pattern if your pattern has paper, but I'm not gonna worry about going to that extreme. Okay, so now what we have is we have a little pocket here and a little pocket there. Okay, so now when we make our card to go in here, we can make it almost the full 2.5 inches. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try that and see if it'll work. I'm going to take a little bit off this side. And then I'm going to cut it 2.5. Let's see if that'll fit. We may need to go a little bit shorter. Yeah, we're going to take it 2 1/4. And that should fit in there and in there. Looks like we're going to have to take a little bit off the length. Yep, that should work. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to take this piece of ledger and you can use whatever kind of paper you want to for this. I just decided to use the ledger because we're doing the kind of accounting kind of thing, and I thought it would be cute to use the ledger paper. And then we're going to just kind of accordion fold this paper, preferably straight. Excuse me. Well, if I could fold a straight line this morning, it would be wonderful. And you could do this back and forth as many times as you wanted to. I'm just doing a double over for mine, and I'm going to cut the excess off so that it's even and straight. Okay. And then I'm going to glue this page onto the back. Actually, I want this to be folded the other way. And I'm going to glue it on the back of here, just like this. Cut my length. And then we'll ink everything up. Okay. Try to get that as straight as we can. Alright, so now what we have is crooked. Now what we have is a crooked piece of paper glued on the back. Oh, come on. You ever have one of those days where you feel like you probably just shouldn't be in the craft room because you could be a danger to yourself? Yeah, that's what my day's starting out like, apparently. Alright, we're going to trim that up a little bit just so it looks somewhat even. Now, all of this is like, you know, printer paper thickness, because I don't feel like you'd want something very thick sitting on top of that belly band. Alright, so ink, walnut stain is the color that I picked. Yeah, I coffee dyed this ledger because it only has ledger on one side, and that's usually ledger paper has ledger on both sides, but this was different. It was weird. Ledger. It's just it was legal size ledger paper that I found at the thrift store. That needs to be trimmed off here. Yeah, it was just one-sided, which is really strange. So I coffee dyed it so it wouldn't be just plain old paper on the back. Sorry, I'm still fiddling with this. I just want it to look somewhat even. Okay, so then you can choose to decorate this further if you want to, or you can leave it just like that. I kind of like it just like that in this case. And so after you get this piece made and inked, which I haven't done yet, then you're going to slip this in here like this, and you're going to have a secret journaling spot and a really cool belly band to put in your journal, and I love that. So yeah, you could do, you know, possibilities of that are endless, aren't they? So when it goes on your page, you know, to go on your page like this, and you'd have a belly band here. Technically, you could put something here too if you wanted, or if you wanted to keep it like that, then you could pull this out and you'd have this big old space here to journal on. And like I said, if you wanted to, you know, accordion that a couple of times more, you could. There you go. Let me see how long I've been fiddling. Okay, got plenty of time. Let's do another one. I'm going to do it with this print this time because I figure that I'm going to have at least 2 signatures in my book. So let's make one for each signature. So this is the paper. Nope. Did I cut my 7? I'm going to do it out of the same paper, I think, but maybe we'll do the other side. Sorry, I'm debating what I want to use. Do I want to use the same background? I think I will. Did I do 7? We'll just mark it. That way I can be sure that I'm doing it the exact same. Alright, so there's my back piece. Do I have enough of this left? Yeah, I got enough of the 3/4 left to do both. So, if I cut this in half, alright, so we're going to glue our 2 3/4 inch pieces and wrap them. Let me flip those over this time to this side. Well, there's not much difference on that one. Alright, so this one, I'm going to do across the top. Flip it over. This one. We're going to do across the bottom. Flip it over. Alright, so there's our base. And then we're going to use this photo, or this digital, and we're going to cut it at 2 1/4. And cut just a little bit off the bottom. Let's see if that fits. Yep. So now we can put our back piece on there. And I only pulled out one piece of ledger, so let's see what I can find here. Okay, we can use this one. And what I did on this one is I printed some coffee dyed lace paper, which is by Tailor Made Journals. And on the back is a digital as well. And I think it may be Tailor Made Journals maybe as well. But it's like French, some kind of French background kind of thing. So we're going to use that, and we're going to take our little front piece and mark it. I'm just going to mark it here. And I think I'll tear this one. Okay, so this is going to be our piece behind, and that we may get a little bit more than two folds out of this one. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down so I can get it maybe straight from the get-go. Maybe. I'm not swearing. And since this one has something nice on both sides, I'm not going to worry about which edge I'm gluing down. The only thing I am doing is I'm starting away from the holes because I like the holes. So I don't want them glued down on the back. So let's see if we can get this straight. Okay, and then we're just going to fold it back and forth. Until we don't have any more paper. And then ink around it. ink around this. And then slip this in here. And then at the bottom. And there you go. So we have 2 belly bands for my journal. And I think that's super cute. And like I said, if you wanted to, you could go further and you could, you know, put a couple labels on here or whatever, you know, if you wanted to do something like that. Or like that. You know, you could put a couple of labels on it if you wanted to go further. I do like that on there, this label. So maybe I will put that on there. And let's see. This one's got a nice number on it. And a color, so I could do something like that. Let me see my little strips and see if I see something. Maybe something like that. Or here's one with some numbers. Here's a math equation. Maybe we'll do that. And that one. I don't think this one needs anything else. No. I'm kind of liking that one with just the label. So let's ink that. And this one, cut a little bit more of that white off the edges and then ink. And you could stamp too if you wanted to. If you didn't want to put a label on there, or you could put a label and stamp. Maybe that's what that needs, is just a stamp on it, like a paid stamp or something. I think I have a paid stamp. see if I can find it real quick. I did get all my stamps labeled, or my stamp holders labeled. That one's coming undone. I didn't get it stuck on there good, I don't think. By the way, with my label maker, I have this one, and I really like it. So it makes me a lot more efficient when I'm looking for a stamp. So I'm not having to pull out every single box to find what I'm looking for. Here we go, I like that. Okay, so there we go. There are our 2 hidden journaling spot belly bands. And thank you to Scrapbooking with me. That is a really cool make, and I enjoyed it. And I could see using these in the future for sure, because they're easily adaptable to whatever kind of journal that you're going to be working on. And I'm excited to see them in this. I think the colors are going to be great. You can see this is going to be kind of a grungy looking journal, of course. But yeah, I think that's going to look really good with the colors that I've already chosen to go in here. And like I said, I didn't want everything to be just generic, you know, paperwork looking stuff. I wanted a little bit of color and pattern in it, so I think that's going to bring a nice element to the journal. So that's it for that. And I also wanted to tell you, while you were here, I have 2 journals finished, and I am going to be doing a flip through for those in a separate video, so look for that as well. I'm trying to reach and get them. About to pull my arm out of socket. The first one is the Shabby Chic journal, and it is the one that I made out of the quilted pillow sham. So it's real shabby chic colors, and it has a paper bag in between the 2 layers of fabric to give it some sturdiness. It is a soft spine, and she is fat and stuffed, and so I'll do a separate video and show you page by page for that one. And then the second one is actually the journal I have been working in, and it is this one, and it is now full. And this one has you know, my favorite things in it. It's mostly birds and butterflies and things like that, but you can see it's stuffed as well. And so I have ran out of pages, and I am reluctantly letting this one go, because it's one of the favorite ones for me that I've made, because it's full of all my favorite things. So I hope you tune into that video so you can see these beauties. And then, like I said, I'm going to move on to this one now, and I'm going to be doing a series of 3 that I already have everything lined up for. There's going to be the actuary, the teacher and the druggist. That sounds like the start of a bad joke, doesn't it? But anyway, so that's my next 3. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions about anything that I've done or where something came from or whatever, and I'll be glad to answer them for you. So until tomorrow, when we do the 50 stack challenge, number 4, hosted by Amy at Crafty Cat, I hope everybody has a good evening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.